Well, hello again. How are you? It's so wonderful to see you, and I hope that you're having an amazing day. Welcome once again to another update of Pan That Palette. I am currently doing my best to get through the Sydney Grace Cosmetics in collab with Mel Thompson's Tiny Marvels palette. So it's been a fun last couple of weeks. I've made a lot of progress. So without further ado, we're gonna have a little bit of a conversation because I've been working on shadows from additional palettes. I wanna hear your feedback on possibly starting another project pan versus doing a makeup basket, because I know a lot of you tend to watch both types of videos. So we'll talk about it in just a second. Without further ado, let's see back where I was with this palette last time we spoke. And then here is what we've got going on now. Oh my goodness, finally seeing some traction going down here in Spider. I am currently using this as a liner shade, as a brow shade. I've got it stamped into my outer corner as far as deepening things up, and I can finally, oh my goodness, finally see some traction. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm at the point in the year where I'm feeling like, who am I kidding? I'm not going to be able to finish this palette by the end of the year, but I do want to see, you know, at least pan and everything. So what I'm currently working on now, this particular eye look, I'm going through with Meadowhawk, a combination of Meadowhawk and Marvel all over my lid. I'm using Flutterby over here as a transition shade. I'm also going through with this on my cheeks as my blush. So as you can see, finally starting to clear out the side of the pan. The matte shades are really densely packed in this palette for sure. Then I'm going through and I'm using a Too Faced shadow we're going to talk about in just a minute, as well as it's either a Juvia's Place or it's a Sydney Grace, kind of a berry looking shade. It's perfect for fall. Again, we'll talk about that in just a minute. And then I'm going back through with Spider in my outer corner, and I'm using a combination of Web mixed with an Hourglass powder to be kind of a similar dupe to the MAC Soft and Gentle as a highlight, both in my inner corner, on my brow bone, as well as on my cheeks. So I'm feeling great about the progress, but like I said, at this point, being at the beginning of September now, it's a lot of shadow to finish, but you know what? That's okay. That's okay. We're gonna keep wearing this palette as long as I can. I talked about, you know, kind of at the, what was it, March, April kind of time frame, I was starting to see the deterioration in some of these shadows. So I'm gonna keep using them till I can't. I have noticed that once you kind of get into those initial layers, it is a lot easier to get that really good quality pigmentation. So don't be afraid of it if you have this palette in your collection, but definitely try to get some love out of it, because the reality of it is the stuff expires and it doesn't do us any good when it's sitting collecting dust in the backs of our makeup collections. So bring it out, love it, and enjoy it. I've had so much fun so far this year with color. Like I talked about last time, at least at this point, even if I don't finish this off by the end of 2025, I have used every shade, and every pan has a nice little divot in it, including shades like Manus right here in the middle. Although I do have plans. In fact, I was, if you haven't gotten a chance to see it, yesterday I posted a video about the whole Louis Vuitton releasing makeup, and instead of just talking about the makeup and having my initial reactions to it, I really wanted to start a conversation on reflecting how it's going to change not only the makeup industry, what we're paying for makeup, but also how it's going to affect content here on YouTube. So feel free to check it out. I'll leave it linked in the description box below, or I'll put it up in the cards here. I do think it's worth a conversation, and at the end of that video, I have also proposed a tag called hashtag not another lipstick tag, and it really kind of gets us thinking about our relationship with our makeup in terms of dupes, in terms of luxury and things like that. So I hope that you find that interesting. Consider yourself tagged. I look very much forward to your answers and seeing your video responses to those questions as well. So like I said, check it out. So that's what's going on with Tiny Marvels. And then from here on out, I'm going to be working on the 2 additional palettes. I talked about this at the beginning of the year. But I've got this beautiful Etsy palette right here that I have a combination of additional Sydney Gray shadows that Mel had chosen that she didn't initially include in the palette. And then I've got some Juvia's Place, I've got some Lorac and some Too Faced and some like random sidebar shades in here. So if you're interested in this type of packaging, check out the description box below, because I picked this up from an awesome Etsy shop titled Another Soul. So I will link this below because she has lots of really cool palettes that you can customize for your makeup collection. They are all magnetic. If you're putting like MAC shades in them, you have to buy additional magnets because they're not compatible. But if you have Urban Decay, if you've got Lorac, if you've got a variety of other makeup brands, they do work well with these magnetic palettes. So let me just show you kind of what's going on in here, because it's been a hot minute since I updated you last time, but I'm currently working on 2 shadows. So we're just going to talk about it from here on out. So this is kind of what's going on. And the 2 shadows that I'm working on, this is Peach Punch from the Too Faced Peachy Matte palette. I think it's the Peachy Matte palette. I'll put a picture over here on the side of what it looked like the last time we spoke. I absolutely love this shadow. And I mean, for the first couple of weeks that I pulled it back out again, the reason why I was able to hit pan and start expanding the pan is because initially I was using it not only in my crease, but I was also wearing it as a blush shade. So for the summertime, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But now that we're getting back into fall makeup, what I've done with this is I go through and I use it as a crease shadow, and then I'm deepening I can speak. I'm deepening it up with this beautiful cranberry shade up here, and I apologize, I have no idea where this is from. It could be Juvia's Place. It's not Sydney Grace. I'm thinking it's Juvia's Place. I don't remember what palette it is, but if you have a matte kind of cranberry shade in your collection, these are beautiful to bring out in terms of fall makeup. So what I'm doing with this shade, and as you can see, I hit pan, which was crazy, super exciting. What I'm doing with this is I'm running it into my crease to deepen everything up, and then I smoke it out in my outer corner with that spider shade from the Tiny Marvels palette. So I've really fallen in love with that shadow. I mean, red shadows are kind of a tough sell. But one of the things that I've really appreciated about it is when you go through with like the Marvel and Meadowhawk shades, because Marvel I felt was like too basic rose gold. I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I felt like it was too basic, and Meadowhawk was a little too red on my skin tone, where I could often look a little, not quite sickly, but it definitely emphasized a lot of, you know, if I have any redness in my eyes, or like if my skin was looking a little off hormonally, like it just kind of exaggerated that a little bit. But when I mixed the 2 shades together, beautiful. So let me show you what's going on my lid right now. I've got them on top of the MAC Therapy Chi paint pot, and it's just like a subtle, like pretty glow. Like there's a little bit of red, there's a little bit of pink, there's a little bit of gold, a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of shimmer, and it's really, really pretty. So I tap my brush in between the Marvel and the Meadowhawk shades before I apply them to my lids, and it's beautiful. So I love going through with this cranberry shade. In fact, I know, I still owe you the Get Ready With Me. The reason why I haven't felt like just compelled to get it all up there is because not only have things been busy, but I'm kind of on the fence about doing another like Project 10 pan and just keeping on with this look to go on and hit pan and finish this shade off. So leave me a comment below if you would like to see a Project 10 pan or like a project pan, like Project Finish by Christmas or something, instead of doing a makeup basket. I'm at the point where I've finished enough makeup that I do have kind of a lot of different rotations going on for the next makeup basket. Like I finished off a foundation, I'm finishing off concealer, I finished off a powder today. I'm finishing off like some eyeliners and things like that. So I'm gonna have a lot coming in, which is making me think, maybe do a Project 10 pan. The other thing that I was thinking about too is this tube of lipstick that I'm wearing right now, which is MAC's Devoted to Chili. I'm almost at the end of the lipstick that I keep in my makeup drawer, and then when I use the one that I keep in my purse as a touch-up. I've noticed that that's pretty much down to the end too. So exciting. Might be cool to do a project pan with those because then it keeps me motivated. And again, another reason I wanted to kind of stick with the red theme and the eyeshadow going on for the next little bit, because guarantees that I can wear some red lipstick for a little while longer. So thoughts, looking forward to it. Leave them in the you know, the comments below how you're feeling. Do you want some motivation with another project pan? I feel like I'm ready to do one, but then I also know that there's like a really cool pull towards having like a makeup basket update too, because those are always fun. You know what I mean? So just leave me your thoughts below. Then lastly, I'm also currently working on my Natasha Denona Trio-Chrome palette because I forgot to pull this out. I actually finished a shadow. So MAC in the flesh, last time we spoke, let me put a picture up here, but the beautiful shade that I don't remember what the name of it is. It's kind of similar to Brulee. It had a little bit of a shimmer. Let me put where it was last time we spoke because it's been a while since I've used it. I totally forgot about it for a minute. But this is what's going on now. It's another empty shade in this palette. So whoop, whoop. Loving that. It is all completely done. And that's another reason why I was like going after the Tiny Marvels palette so hard, because I was also working on Carbon. I have expanded, maybe this will be better because this is how you've been seeing it in the pictures. I have expanded Carbon a little bit, but I'm going to be real honest, I haven't worked on it as much over the last about 6 weeks because I've decided to just go in full ham with the spider shade on my upper lash line. So I promise I'm not done with this palette. I'm gonna still bring it back out and work on it, but after finishing the highlighting shade over here, I was kind of like, you know what, I'm ready to move on for a while. The other reason that I'm really okay with not finishing Tiny Marvels by the end of the year, maybe even continuing into next year, is because there is a smoky gray eye look that I titled Amber's Armadillo Eyes for Get Ready With Me, and I really, really, really want to wear that look as we get into like November, December. And so part of me knows, I'm like, I can still incorporate shadows from the Sydney Grace palette, and I can also incorporate shadows from this palette as well in addition to using these. So you know what? I'm not gonna put the pressure on myself. I'm gonna still keep painting the palette. It's just, it's gonna take me a little bit longer, and I'm okay with that. I hope that you are too, but I'm definitely okay with that. And then it keeps me moving through more of my collections. So it's been a good year. It's been a good year of really learning a lot. So in any case, back to Natasha Denona Trio-Chrome. The reason why I pulled this palette out initially is because it's actually a nice complement, dare I say segue, from the Sydney Grace palette, because there are a lot of similar vibes going on between the two palettes. So I don't have a previous picture of where I was necessarily, but I am currently working on the shade Vertex as my highlighting shade. So let's call this our starting spot. And then from here on out, I will keep you updated, because what I like to do with this is I like to use it as a base shade in my inner corner and my brow bone, because web can be rather intense. In fact, the Hourglass powder is also the other thing that's kind of toning down web a little bit more, but this definitely gives me a nice, lovely base. So this is where we are, and I'm gonna keep working on this till it's gone. So out of this palette, it'll be my second pan finished, since I finished off the warm brown that was over here. But just to kind of rehash that conversation a little bit, let me turn it upside down so it's not blinding you. But when you look in this palette, like I said, there's a lot of similar vibes in this to the Tiny Marvels palette, because what I'm already thinking of is when I finish Flutterby, my natural, you know, movement forward in my collection is I'm going to go back and I'm going to be painting this didactic shade. So that'll be shade number 3 that's going to go out of this palette. Some of the purples with Love Bug and Bugaboo over here are very similar to the purples in this row. The lilac with Jewel Bee, I'm thinking already over here with this beautiful lilac shade. And then also with the greens that are going on with the Tiny Marvels palette, this whole top row, this is incentive right here to really kind of get some movement forward and get some love on these too. So it's just kind of a natural progression, and I thought, why not pull it out? It gives me an opportunity to find some comparable shades, keep on moving through my collection, have a natural path to kind of see how am I going to continue painting these things. And because I'm going to just keep a steady progress from here on out, and I'm going to finish the palette when I finish it, I think it'll be a great opportunity for you to keep following along with me and see how I continue to move through my collection. And let's see if we can move out multiple palettes kind of together as we go into the rest of the year and into next year. Because like I said, if I go through, let's bring out this Etsy palette again. If I go through and finish shades out of Tiny Marvels, a lot of these over here are very comparable, and I've got shimmery shades over here that are also comparable. So why not, let's just have the conversation and let's just keep this going, and let's see what I can pan out of these. There we go. I think that's my goal going into 2026 is we're gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and we're gonna move out some serious pans of shadows. So I think that's a good goal. So on that note, like I said, go on and leave me a comment below if you'd like to see me do a project pan versus doing a makeup basket, because I'm feeling really, really motivated to just have that consistency, have that accountability, come on here with the monthly updates. My makeup empties bin is getting pretty darn full now, so I think that would be helpful again to keep me motivated, and also to just kind of stay consistent with finishing some more makeup. And then don't forget, check out that Louis Vuitton video that I posted, thoughts on it, because even today there were a good like 10 videos that I saw just today on the Louis Vuitton launch. And I think if we sit down and have the conversation like I presented, you're going to look at it in a different way of how this is going to impact us in the future. And don't forget, consider yourself tagged for the hashtag not another lipstick tag. In fact, I need to film my answers for that as well. So until next time, take care, and I look forward to talking with you real soon. Until next time, adios.